Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the another session of the first edition of Student Union Management Development Institute. By introduction, my name is Buba Mcise, a student at Management Development Institute, a recent just concluded postgraduate diploma in gender and development. And it's a pleasure to be here today and given the task to moderate this session. And we believe this session will not last for more than 1 hour because we want it to be much educative but very interactive among ourselves. But first, before going further, I would like to give you what I have for you for today. Before introducing my honorable high table members, I would like to give you what I have installed for you. First of all, we'll have an opening prayer, which we believe we can't do anything without. And secondly, we'll also have an opening remark that will tell us why this particular program at this time and here. And also, we'll also have not only by presentation or by speeches, we'll have a poetry session. We'll have an interlude of poetry or poets that will give us another narration of what we are going to talk to you today. And also, we're also going to talk about how gender and entrepreneurship contribute to national development. We also have the opportunity to talk to have an insight presentation on HIV and AIDS and what are the facts about this particular phenomenon. What are the preventive measures that we have to take as individuals? And also, we'll have an opportunity to have a speech on the harmful traditional practice that we have in our community, and what are the implications, and how can we stop it, and what is the way forward for these particular practices that we have in our community. Along the way, as I said, we'll also have a drama that will give us an action of what has been shared here throughout this session. Having said that, I would like to introduce my high table, and I believe I will not do justice without giving them that honorable introduction. And I will start by someone very close to me, and she is my minister herself, Minister of Education and Research. And she is Minister herself, Fatou Bouare. You are most welcome. Next to her is another beautiful lady again. And her name also go by Fatou. But this one is Kine Jaju. And Fatou is the Minister for Gender and Health. Fatou is the Minister of Gender and Health of MDI Student Union. And we also have the next person to him. And I think I will take 1 minute to take him introduction about him. But let me not do that because we have limited time. But he is the lecturer himself, which I personally admire so much. And he's my role model. And his name goes by Mr. Matt Mbai. He is a lecturer. He is a senior lecturer at Management Development Institute and also a lecturer at the University of the Gambia. This man is versatile, and he has a vast knowledge that we will receive from him today. And the far right, and I also have another honorable member of the high table, and I guess for that matter, who dedicate his time, his resources to be here with us and have a presentation on one of the most important topics that we young people can discuss. And he is Mr. Jibril Sane. Having said that, and before going further, as we said, we cannot do anything without praise. I would like we to have a praise in our individual ways. Can we pray in solitude, please, for 1 minute? Amen. I hope the prayers have been already answered by God. Ladies and gentlemen, if you observe my high table today, you will recognize that we have 2 to 2. 2 females and 2 males. And that depicts. Yes, I think that depicts. I don't have to dwell on that, but we all know that it's apparent that we have a gender-sensitive high table at the moment, and that is very applaudable. Thank you for the organizers for coming with such a brilliant idea. Having said that, I would like to invite the first speaker who will give us an opening remark about this session. Remember, this is a seminar, and in most cases, seminars has to do with discussion. A topic will be delivered. After that deliberation, we will have a question and answer session. But the first speaker will give us that welcoming remark, will give us some synopsis about the whole idea for this program. And I hope she will deliver to expectation. Madam, the floor is yours. Thank you.
I believe that if the due respect is not given to the high table, then justice is not done. To my Honorable Fatmata Kine, Mr. Matt Mbai, Mr. Jibril, students of Alberta School, participants from MDI, good afternoon to you all. Before going further, we would like to welcome Mr. Fai, a senior lecturer of MDI. Despite his busy schedules, he is still around to grace this occasion with us. Thank you for being here. It is a great honor and privilege to welcome you all around here as we are gathered here to discuss on this seminar, which is a great tool, theme, changing the misconceptions of people. It's not just centered on just one thing, but it is conquering everything that we are living today, especially in the Gambia. As the Students' Week is concerned, this is a seminar that is aimed at creating awareness on burning issues, and this cannot be treated if it is not discussed and answers or solutions are not given to it. Because it requires the exchange of ideas, which we will use to develop ourselves and our nation at large. And yes, we look forward to more networking and collaboration from you all. From here, I will give the floor to the chairperson to take you through the program guide. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. And it is quite short, and I believe the message has been sent across. And one thing she made very clear is that we are here to learn from the four corners of the classroom. Basically, we are here to relax our brain, also to reach out to the community that we found ourselves, and also to make a network among ourselves. But we should not forget, anywhere we go, we also have to create the time to learn. So that's why we have a time to have this particular seminar. And I think she made it very clear. We want to change perspective in any area that MDI administration or MDI management is engaged in. It can be either in gender, it can be either in management, it can be either in banking and finance, or any other domain or any field of studies. We are there to enlighten, to give more information that will benefit everyone. I think my minister herself did justice to that. And thank you for your presentation or for your short remark. Having said that, and now I would like to give you a synopsis of what the presentation or the whole program will be. But this will be in a form of a style. It will not be a speech, but this will be in a form of a spoken word. Perhaps you can call it a poetry. That we believe that not every session should be only based on discussion or speeches. We should also invite words in diverse areas so that the message can be sent across in different ways. Having said that, I would like to invite one of the most brilliant MDI students to give us a poem that will talk about female genital mutilation. And she will give us a words of wisdom, a words that we will take home. So please join me to welcome Mariama Join me to welcome Mariama Jabi to give us her poem for the first time here. Thank you, Mariama.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mariama Jabi. I'll be introducing myself for the benefit of those who don't know me. I am a student of Management Development Institute studying Diplomacy and International Relations, also serving as the Assistant Technical Logistic Minister of the Almighty 6th Executive Council of Management Development Institute. And just 1 minute to introduce to you what the piece that I have for you. You would agree with me, some of the young ladies, beautiful young ladies in our midst who have undergone FGM, would agree with me that sometimes we are told we are going to get apples, oranges, bananas, and then the next thing you know, you'll be seeing yourself in a hut, right? So the topic of this poem is She Was Purified. Because we believe, in our culture, we believe circumcised women are unpurified, while circumcised women are purified. So that's where I got my title from. Mama thought I needed to be purified. I sat wondering why I needed to be purified. I mean, my skin was clean and my soul pure, so I wondered. There's fear of incompleteness as I sat wondering why I needed to be purified. Before I had the chance to ask her, why are we here? I was told we were going to get apples, so why are we here? Before I could ask, I was grabbed by an old woman, a mixture of fear and confusion as Mama watched me being mishandled. I was told I was incomplete if I haven't done that. There, I felt the memories of the painful cut, the masking of my face and soul, the mishandling of my body. Reasons behind my purifications was never told, but scars forever inflicted. The truth took years to unfold, locked up and never told. The secret behind this devilish act was never told, but I still remember. I remember how I was forcefully laid on the ground by the old woman, for I still remember. When she took out the knife, my heart skipped because that knife never saw water nor daylight. How could you have purified me with a knife that had blood and dirt on it? And finally, I was chopped off. For I still remember the herb that contains all types of germs was sprinkled on me to stop my innocent blood. I was mutilated. I remember the blood, fresh blood and bloody. As I screamed in pain, my mom ran in and started smiling. I wondered why me. Mama said to me, "You're completely purified," when in reality, I was incomplete as a woman. As if that was not enough, I had to be sealed. Sealed for my protection, she said. I had to be sealed because I was going to bring shame on the family, she thought. I had to be sealed because they thought I was going to bring shame on the family. But if only they asked, I shall take a vow. I vow to protect my pride, dignity, and soul. I vow. I had to be sealed because my hymen had to be safe for a man. Are you kidding me? I had to be sealed because even society thought it was best. I had to be sealed because I am a girl. And today, I wish to tell the world that the cutting of the cutting days is gone, that female genital mutilation is a violence against girls and a crime against humanity, that it is dehumanizing and a total humiliation. Yet generations after generations, little girls are mutilated, little girls with no means to protect themselves or have say over their bodies. You see this, it serves to please culture and prospect for marriage and fetch high demands. Why decide for me? Why? Please leave me a hole. Please. Thank you.
I think she did extremely well. This is beyond expectation. And we learned that these are some of the most deep-rooted societal practices that we still have challenge to overcome. This depicts the implications or even the predicaments that many girls and women continue to face in our communities and in our society. And I could remember when I was also taken just for a Mayan biscuit or a minty, I could remember the back days as my father told me, Buba, let's go to the shop. And eventually, I saw myself at the booth side. I remember. You see, the memories are becoming freshened. And, oh, this is so touching. Mariama, thank you for giving us that wonderful presentation. And I hope the piece will enlighten us. And it's something that we'll take home. I think if we want to change the narrative, we want to change the situation of our women and girls, it has to start now. We have to change the mindset at the onset. And here is the targeted group. Young people, let's listen to what has been said. Take it home, ponder over it, and make a very informed decision. And I believe so. We all can attest. Mariama has given something that we will never forget about. Please, let's take the message very, very keenly. Thank you so much. I would like to invite my next guest, speaker, to give us a very good presentation, and beyond expectation, I wish to say. And he is no other person, but someone who leave all what he have to do at the office, come over here and give us a presentation on HIV and AIDS. So kindly join me to welcome Mr. Jibril Sane to take us through his presentation.
Mariama, I am thrilled. This is the tip of the iceberg compared to what I personally believe that MDI Student Union can do. Congratulations for this milestone. And I want to wish and hope, as the second bullet of my presentation, you can see a partnership against HIV. So I want to believe this could be the commencement of a huge partnership with MDI SU. I pledge the availability of my office to partner with the MDI Student Union on any other activity related to HIV. Positive. But you know what is worst about that? They are bisexual. They are not for real. What I meant to say is they don't stop at having sex with their fellow men, but they also have sex with our fellow sisters. So watch out, my fellow sisters. 3 to 4 in every 10 are HIV positive. And they are very handsome young boys. Very handsome. Watch out, please. Yeah? However, women are civilized. All right? If you look at the data before us, there is a drop from 15 to 11%. But look at the men, from 9.8 in 2011 to 35. So it means the population of men having sex with men is increasing, and the prevalence of HIV within men having sex with men is also on the rise. Next, endeavor is key. If your thoughts are not influenced, forget it. So it is important as young people, let's allow our perceptions to be furnished. We need hygiene in the way we think. Some of us are living in the Stone Ages. Those Stone Ages exist. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Anyway, let's go. But these data are just very worrisome. Okay, the knowledge. Do you know a pregnant woman can transmit HIV to her unborn child? But now if you look at this study, this is just the recently concluded demographic health survey in 2019-2020. Now this knowledge in the heads of men is fading down. If you look at 2013, men 49%, but in 2020 is what? 35%. What happened is when these women go to the clinic for screening, they are tested for HIV. So if you are a woman and your husband does not believe that prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV is real, will he allow you to get into that program? And it's very real. If a pregnant woman is HIV positive, you are given antiretroviral drug. If you adhere to that treatment, you will deliver your unborn child HIV free. Very true, is existing in the country here. Yeah, so when this knowledge is fading in the heads of the husbands, and in our Gambian context, decisions are what? Patrilineal. Although the gender activists would want to change the narrative. But that is something that we could hardly erode. Decision making in our society is patrilineal. So it is important that men are oriented, or else the problems will continue to exist. Okay. Yeah, so knowledge of other ways of contracting. Yeah, as she said, the usage of unsterile knife to conduct female genital mutilation can be a source of transmitting HIV. Because if you cut A, use the same instrument and cut B, do you know what's going on with A? Obviously, if A has HIV and you use the same instrument and cut the B, obviously you are transmitting. So FGM has a huge health implication, a huge one. It's also another trouble when you go to the labor ward. So let's watch out for that. So the knowledge that people have with regards to that is very high, as you can see. The list is what? 68%. Let's go. Misconception. Let's move. All right. Misconception. HIV is transmitted by mosquitoes. HIV is transmitted by food. HIV is transmitted by handshake. It's no longer the case now, because the awareness has been raised and people are now aware. Yeah. Now, stigma and discrimination. People's attitude towards people living with HIV. There was a study conducted. Move. These are the questions. Would you be willing to buy food from an HIV infected person? Will you do that? If you know. No. Why?
Because we are afraid of being transmitted.
But we said buying food will not give you HIV.
How about if she use cutlery and she basically cut herself?
I am selling fresh fruits. Fresh fruits. Because you know that I am HIV positive, you choose not to buy from me. What are you doing?
Discriminating.
Thank you. Let's go. Let's look at the results. Go ahead. These are all questions. Okay. Now, if you look at the discrimination rate by age for sex, what I mean by age for sex, age versus male, female. Yeah? Okay. 54% of the women say, as you just said, they will not buy vegetables from a HIV infected person. That's what the women said. It's very high in the men. HIV/AIDS Prevention and Control Act. Medical confidentiality. I am a nurse. If somebody is tested by me, I am obliged not to reveal his or her status, even to the husband or the wife. I should not do that. The law, this is an act in 2015 that says that. Yeah? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you also test, no health worker should test an individual without obtaining consent. What is consent? You want to test for HIV? Yes, you test. But you don't ask the person whether you want to test for HIV or not. You went and test for HIV is illegal. That's what it means here. If it's a child that is below 16, according to the Gambian law, any person that is below 16 years is a child. Consent should be what? Sorted from the parents. Yeah? So in case of disability, consent should be what? Obtained from a legal guardian. Disability, maybe deaf, cannot talk, and you cannot understand the sign language. Obviously, they come along with some people. So that person needs to give consent on behalf of the disabled person to be able to do the HIV test. Go ahead. Go ahead. Any person who performs HIV test without obtaining the consent will pay a fine of $50,000 or 1 year imprisonment or both. Yes, in the Gambia here. This is for the healthcare workers. As a healthcare professional, you test somebody on HIV without consent, you are liable to this fine or imprisonment. In the event of donation, it is legally presumed that the person willingly wants to donate organs to undergo HIV. So that test could be conducted without a penalty. Inciting hatred towards serious contempt or severe ridicule to people. You want to ridicule me by disclosing my status is a crime. $100,000 is or 2 years imprisonment. I hope that is clear. If you disclose my status in public just to ridicule me, you go for 2 years or you pay a fine of $100,000 or even both. Go ahead. Willful transmission. Do you know it's happening? Willingly. I am HIV positive and I choose to have unprotected sex. That is willful. But how would we ascertain that? Also is another challenge. So that goes with a $500,000 fine and a 5 years imprisonment or both. Yeah. If HIV and AIDS is a concern for all and it has no boundaries, so if you are not infected, you are affected. I hope that is clear. So collectively, if you want to stop HIV, let's get tested. How many of us are willing to test today? I already contacted the lab technician at Albreda. Students, will you test? Yes. But your hands are down. Yes, huh? Okay, let's go. Now, for those of us, go back. For those of us that are in the combos, every health facility you go to in the combos is offering HIV counseling and testing. And the health facilities that are providing the HIV treatment are EFSTH, Kanifingana Hospital, SAS Moras Clinic, Bundung, and the Yundum Barracks. Thank you for your kind attention.
Much about HIV and AIDS today. His presentation reminds me sometimes early 2000 when there was a strong campaign against prevention of HIV and AIDS in the Gambia. And there was a song which I could remember that when he started the presentation, my mind goes to that particular song. And it goes like this. And it goes like this. Nganyo dema nganyo mataku katu. Nganyo dema nganyo mataku katu esia jawata aye molu kaira silole nati ngali nganyo dema fansi ose jamfa. Ayende ma nganyo mutaku katun esia jawata nganyode ma nganyo mutaku katun esia jawata aye molu kaira silo men jamfa. Thank you. I think it's actually about how can we have a solidarity for those who are infected or affected by the virus. We show them they are our brothers and sisters, they are part of our families, our community. We give them that moral support, that psychological support, so that they can also have a longer duration of life, so that they will not be isolated and feel depressed. That's basically what this song is about. But about his presentation it's not about abstinence. It's about taking the right measures as young people to prevent ourselves from HIV and AIDS. And he made it very categorically clear that this particular virus is more prevalent among young people between the age of 15 to 49. So please, let's take the right or the appropriate measures in terms of preventing ourselves. But he made it very clear, it is not about abstinence, it's about getting the right information. It's information. If without information, even you abstain yourself, you can be part of those percentage who are going to have HIV and AIDS. So thank you, Mr. Sane. I wish we could have more time to have more discussion about HIV and AIDS. And I wish you brought condoms along so that some of them can take it home, because it's quite important. You cannot stop young people from having sex, but you can give them something that they will prevent themselves. I think this is the most important thing. Okay? So having said that, we are much happy and delighted to have him around, and I hope we'll have that collaboration and partnership as he seek from the student executive to make sure that these kind of programs are becoming. Okay? Having said that, we are going to move on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to move on with the session. It's not finished. This is one of the programs or the topics that we have to discuss with you. Having said that, we also have someone who wants to give us a poem. And this one is very unexpected. It's not from MDI students, but this is from our invited students from, yes. So we are going to invite Mariama Jata. Am I right? Yes, Mariama. Yes, Mariama, can you come on stage to give us something?
My name is Mariama Jata, aka Eze Graffiti the Poet, from Albreda Senior Secondary School. I am here to read a poem entitled FDM Indecent Gift of Culture. Culture, you said you are, but vulture, parade in culture you are. So-called FGM, you introduced to devour mankind custom in providing framework for well-being of mankind. Well-being you give not, but pain, as your significance is surrounded. Insecurity, uncertainty, and confusion. Oh, FDM, an act that violates human rights. My right as a child were violated. Right to health, security, physical integrity, and to be free from torture and cruel. Your right and mine were violated. On that day, culture took on us. My heart cannot condone the idea of partial or total removal of one's genitalia. I am mutilated. She is mutilated. You are next to be mutilated. At the risk of our life, we are compelled to embrace indecency. I have a mission to combat against FGM on women and the girl child. An unhealthy traditional practice that is inflicted on the teen of black race. Without hygiene, it is done on me, as on you, to cause us severe pain. I hate FGM. HIV risk is high. Tetanus and hemorrhage, urinary tension cause us tissue swelling and inflammation. Injury to the urethra and fear of passing urine or raw wounds. Unsterilized instruments are used in group circumcision. Repeated cutting and stitching. Mothers are dying during labor. FDM, an act of indecency.
Remember, my sister's name is Mariama. So I'm proud to be having Mariama in the midst. Thank you so much. And I believe it is also a plus to what have been said about female genital mutilation. It is a human right violation, even though there's a lot of controversy around this particular practice, but we believe that it has more harm than good. It is nothing that we can be proud of. It is an evil. It is nothing that no one can be excited of being through. Having said that, I would like to move on to the next person. My speaker on the list is the minister herself, the Minister of Gender and Health. And she is no other person than Fatou Kene Jaju. Madam, you are welcome.
As I was introduced as Fatou Jaju, the current Gender and Health Minister of the MDI Student Union, and I'm here to give a short speech on harmful traditional practices. Okay, tradition being people's belief and what they actually practice also have some harmful areas or aspects that can affect the lives and rights of individuals as well. Is it not coming? Okay. The most common amongst the harmful traditional practices in the Gambia includes forced and or child marriage and FGM. Forced or child marriage. Traditionally, most people believe that a girl should be married at any age as far as their parents are okay with it, regardless of the complications attached. Okay. These complications are basically the problems they face when forced to get married or married at a younger age. In the world we live today, a great percentage of girls or women are married against their will, mostly due to family ties or personal wish of their parents or due to economic conditions. Because marriage is supposed to be based on love and affection, women in such marriages suffer the fate of being with a man they don't love, which may result to domestic violence and stigmatization. Most of these girls who are forced into marriage are denied their fundamental right to education. This act is prohibited in many countries, including the Gambia, our motherland. According to the laws of the Gambia, anybody who marries a child and all persons who supported the act is liable to a prison term of not less than 20 years. Apart from its illegality, children are not physically and psychologically prepared to be parents, and it is certain that a child cannot take care of a baby. Making a child a parent will result to bad parenting, which is a bad flow for any nation. Okay, and the next point is FGM, which I'm not going to say more about because the two Maria must have said it all. Yeah, and we say female genital mutilation comprises of all procedures involving the removal of the external female genitalia or other injury to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. As defined by the World Health Organization, 3 in every 5 girls in the Gambia have undergone FGM. This ugly or hurting practice is strictly linked to traditional belief. However, it is evident that the act it is comprised of severe pain, bleeding, difficulties in passing urine, infection, injury, and at worst, it may lead to death, which might be caused by excess bleeding. In addition to the severe pain during the week following, the cutting of the female genitalia may lead to the experience of various long-term effects, which may include chronic pains, severe infections, genital ulcers, infections, or reproduction system. Okay. In sexual enjoyment and psychological consequences, post-traumatic stress disorder. Like many countries, FGM is banned in the Gambia according to the Women's Act Section 2A and Section 2B. Female circumcision is prohibited. A person who engages in female circumcision commits an offense and subjected to punishment. She is liable on conviction to imprisonment of a term of 3 years or fine for $50,000 or both. According to the Section 2AB, where the female circumcision caused death, the punishment shall be life imprisonment. Section 2B1, further states that anyone who requests, incite, or promote FGM by providing tools or any other means commits an offense and is liable to imprisonment as well, for a term of not more than 3 years or fine of $50,000. Despite all these laws FGM contains, in our country, we all have a role to play, and these harmful traditional practices should be stopped and should be taken into consideration for the care and health for the girl, child, and women. Thank you.
To give us a point about domestic violence and any other point that you want to recite.
No one ever told me to open a new page. Instead, I was forced to get married to that wicked, careless, and heartless man who uses me for his sexual interest. Keroog buñ ma jébalee suma borom kër soonoon naa ndax dañ ma tëjoon ñu jàpp ma tijji ma ba pare jébal ma sama borom kër ma gestu suma yaay di ko laaj yaay lii lan la mu ne ma suñ aada la but does tradition demands death or protection? And if tradition is killing the spirit of young innocent girls, then why don't we quit? Why don't we sigil sagal teral te jàppale suñu jigéen ñi bitundung nin ko ñimun na ado ni no cosano leti andung abe sukutun dingol fakan ne munatin nan tabulala abala fa warata. So if it is their right to mutilate us, then let everyone exercise their rights. Let the activists advocate. Let the media sensitize. Let the poets recite. Let everyone be the voice of the voiceless, for this has to end. Dafa wara jeex andung ñanta kaban.
He is a senior lecturer, to make it very emphatic. And I have the honor to invite Mr. Matmbai to take us through on a topic called Gender and Entrepreneurship in National Development. Mr. Mbai, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
And I want to thank all presenters that came here and presented. It's a pleasure to be invited here to give a talk or to give a discourse on gender issues, okay? I believe we're getting tired now, but this is one of the last sessions we're going to have for today. So nonetheless, let's be patient. I wouldn't take it so long, okay? I will try my best to summarize, make that short as possible. First and foremost, I would like to talk about gender and entrepreneurship. What role does it have in national development? Fine. If you talk about gender and entrepreneurship, can you break it down into 2 pieces now? What does gender talk about first? Gender. Gender as a term. What do you think it entails? Yes, gender, yes. Very good. Gender simply look at roles that define what men and women do in society. That's one. How about entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship talks about what? In order to? Create employment so as to make profit. Thank you very much. So, gender and entrepreneurship simply look at the capacity and willingness of men and women to venture into business. Capacity and willingness of men and women to do business, okay? It's a very important term because it's a key tool to build a country. Business moves countries forward. It's very important. Now, we're trying to look at this because we want to look at business in a very fair manner. A business that gives chance to men as much as women. That's why we have this term called gender and entrepreneurship, okay? The most obvious example of business could be starting a particular venture. Could be sole proprietorship, individual business, or could be in the form of joint venture, where many people come together and run a business. So in these activities, we can apply gender as well, okay? The gender dimension talks about giving chance to everyone here, to make sure that you take part in what is happening, to make sure that you reap from the benefits. In case the business booms and there are benefits coming from the business, everyone should benefit, men and women. If we do so, we can develop a country. Because remember, in every country we go, we have men as much as women. Men alone cannot develop a country. Likewise, women alone. So that's why it's like teamwork. And men have to play their part as much as women. So nobody should be discriminated. Okay? Now I want to look at the roles that gender and entrepreneurship might have in developing a country. The roles are many, but I'm trying to summarize as much as possible. One, it earns government's revenue. Businesses earn government's revenue. If men play their part in business, women play their part, they all contribute in taxes. And these taxes also will come to government coffers in the form of revenue. Okay, which in turn governments can use to build highways, to build bridges, building of schools, and a lot more. That's one point. The other point is it can reduce unemployment, joblessness, because business is about self-employment. So if men have the chance to do business as much as women, then the number of joblessness in this country might go down. And likewise crime. Because if people are jobless, it might push you into crime and other vices. So that's another important thing. It reduces employment. And also we have what is called the gender gap. Do you know what the gender gap talks about? Anyone who has an idea of the gender gap? My third point is it can reduce what we call the gender gap. Gender gap, yes. Who has an idea of the gender gap? Yes. Yes. Inequality between men and women. Very good. That's the gender gap. Now we can have gap in education, a gap in economic opportunities, a gap in healthcare, and the list goes on. Now business can reduce the gender gap because women become more independent. You don't have to depend on your husband every now and then. So sometimes you can dip your hands in your pocket and buy stuff for yourself, which is very key. Okay? And remember, if women are independent as much as men, then that's a way for development of a country. Yes. Okay? Another one is it gives what is called flexibility in chores, domestic chores. Women have what is called a triple role in gender. Now, if you have a business that you can run, you can go to your shop anytime. You have that level of flexibility. Okay? You can choose not to open. You can choose to go and run some errands on a particular day. Okay? Which is a level of flexibility. Okay? You can choose to take leave from your business and run other family errands, social activities. So, flexibility is very key. Okay? Which is going to help everyone. It's going to help men as much as women. Again, we have what is called an improvement in living standards. If business is booming, living standards improve. Example of countries that are enjoying these activities are China. We all know China is business oriented. A lot of Chinese are making a lot of money. And we have them around. They come to the Gambia, they take our jobs. Okay? Now, most of the proceeds they have, the business they have in this country, the proceeds will go back to China. Or do you think they will spend in this country? No. They will go back to China and develop China. And we all know today China is doing very well. Okay? So this gender entrepreneurship in China is very, very, very key. And it's one of the reasons why China is leading many countries in the world right now. Okay? The other thing is we have what is called women representation. Women representation. In the world we have what is called male dominant culture in gender, which is very unfair. This gender entrepreneurship will bring a balance. A balance in what you're doing to make sure that men have a say as much as women. Okay? If you have a union, for example, we don't only have to have men as union leaders. We can have men, a mixture of men and women in the top brass. Because whenever you're represented, your voice will be heard. But as long as you're missing, I will talk to myself. I wouldn't speak for you. So representation is very key in this particular thing. We have statistics in gender. You see, all countries in the world that give gender a chance are doing very well. All countries in the world that give gender a chance are doing very well. Most of the countries in the world that do not give gender a chance are not doing very well. For example, in Afghanistan, you know Afghanistan? Yes. Afghanistan is a country where women don't do business. They don't pay tax. It's only men who go out there to work and pay taxes. And let me ask you this question. Is it an advanced country? Is it doing very well? No, it's not. Because remember, only men can develop a country. It should be teamwork. Men should play their part as much as women. Okay? So Afghanistan is one of the countries that is not doing very well because gender is not giving a chance. Likewise, our next door neighbor, Niger. Niger is a country where gender is not doing very well. Women are discriminated. They have no voice. They're not given chances. They don't pay taxes. They don't go out there to make money. So one of the reasons why gender is not being, Nigeria is not advanced is because women are sidelined in national development. So you can see gender is a tool for developing a country. And we have the reverse. If you go to the advanced world, like the United States, it's an advanced country. And we all know women are as vibrant as men. You go to Netherlands, it's an advanced country. We all know out there, women are advanced as much as men. Okay? So gender is a very important tool that we can apply to move a country forward. Again, we have the likes of Malaysia. We call them emerging economies. They're just coming up. And they're coming up because they're giving everyone a chance. You see, gender is about fairness. A lot of people think gender is about women. No, it's not. Gender is about everyone. Why do you think we talk about women most of the time in gender? Why do you think? Because women are the most vulnerable. Simple. But it doesn't mean that gender has come to empower women. No. Gender has come to empower everyone. Okay? We mainly talk about women more than men because women are most vulnerable. We would have talked about men more than women if it were the other way around. But as we are speaking right now, women at least are the most vulnerable compared to men. That's one of the reasons why mainly we talk about women, women, women. But gender is not about women. Gender is about everyone. Okay? It's about fairness. Also, we have what is called freedom. If women venture into business, if they have the chance to run their own business as much as men, they can be free. Yes. If I have money to buy whatever I want to buy, I wouldn't have to listen to a traumatizing husband. Okay? Or a very complicated husband, somebody who beats me every now and then. Yes, I can have that liberalism, that independence on my own as a woman. Okay? Yes, in fact, if needs be, we can break up because I can go on my own. If needs be, I'm saying, if needs be. Okay? But then if I am zero, I'm at level zero. If my husband doesn't give me, I can never afford. Then I can be a beggar to my husband. Whatever he says, I'll be like, yes. Okay? So these are some of the issues that these things solve. Okay? Then we have what is called mutual understanding. If we all develop a country, there should be what is called mutual understanding. We tend to understand men, and as well as women also tend to understand men. Okay? So basically, that's what I have for you today. I would want to make it long. Thank you so much. Yes.
Of to sleep with, and I hope this message will be very, very influential in our life in terms of decision making as young people. Having said that, but meanwhile, to wrap everything up, we come to the tail end of the program. We would like to invite one of our executive members of the Student Union on behalf of the President Salman Koli. I have the privilege to invite the Minister for Information and Communication of the Management Development Institute Student Union. Thank you.
I have to give thanks to the Gender and Health Ministry and of course the Education Ministry too for always bringing forth very resourceful individuals to deliver outstanding lectures. Like the saying goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. I believe we have gained an epitome of knowledge from the session today, and I will urge us all to cement whatever we have learned today within our minds and be ready to teach others outside. I believe our honorable speakers, in line with the theme, has indeed impacted the misconceptions we have or had. And I believe these misconceptions will be sieved out for us to pick the grains from the weed. Without taking much of your time, I know we are tired, we've been sitting down here since morning. I would like to release you all to your rooms or to your convenient corners to go and ponder over the lectures. I would advise you to bury every misconception you had about HIV, gender, entrepreneurship, you name it, whatever has been mentioned here. Whatever misconception you had about these topics, I would ask you all to bury them deep down and marry the rightful concepts that they have instilled in us today and be ready to go back home, impact our communities and the country at large. I asked him not to call my name because I want to save it for the last. all the guys that came here had their names mentioned before they started. So I want to come in style. I want to do it different. So to wrap up, my name is Amina AK5, for those that do not know me, the Communication Minister of MDI SU, and I thank you all for your patience. Really, thank you so much.